Imagine, for just one moment, that you could remember the day you were born, the bright lights, the unfamiliar voices, your very first breath, your mother's face. Now ask yourself, can you actually remember any of it? Probably not. What about your first birthday? Your first steps? Your first words? Nothing. It's as if the first few years of your life never happened. But here's the strange part. You were there. Your eyes saw the world. Your ears heard every sound. Your brain was constantly learning. So, where did all those memories go? Did your brain delete them? Are they still hidden somewhere inside your mind? Or were they never stored in the first place? Today, we're going to solve one of the greatest mysteries of the human brain. Why don't we remember being babies? Think about your oldest memory. Maybe it's your first day of school, a birthday party, playing with a favorite toy, or falling and hurting yourself. For most people, their earliest memory happens somewhere between the ages of 3 and 4. Everything before that feels like a black hole, and that's incredibly strange, because during those first years, your brain is working harder than it ever will again. A baby learns how to recognize faces, understand language, walk, laugh, express emotions, recognize danger, even understand relationships. In just a few years, a newborn transforms into a child capable of speaking, running, and solving simple problems. It's one of the fastest periods of learning in your entire life. So if babies are learning so much, why can't we remember any of it? Scientists even have a name for this mystery: infantile amnesia. It doesn't mean babies can't learn. It simply means adults usually can't remember experiences from the earliest years of life. But why? Many people believe babies don't form memories. That sounds reasonable, but it's wrong. Babies absolutely remember things. In fact, only a few months after birth, babies can already recognize familiar faces. They know the sound of their parents' voices. They can learn routines, they remember where their favorite toy is, and they quickly notice when something changes. Researchers have shown that babies can remember events for days, sometimes even weeks, depending on their age. So babies clearly have memory. The real mystery isn't whether babies can remember, it's why those memories almost never survive into adulthood. Imagine writing hundreds of pages in a notebook, only to discover that every page slowly fades away over the next few years. That's surprisingly close to what seems to happen inside the developing brain. But before we understand why memories disappear, we first need to understand how memories are created, because your brain isn't a camera, it's something much more complicated. Many people imagine memories as videos stored inside the brain, as if your brain simply presses record. But that's not how memory works. Every experience you have, seeing a face, hearing a song, smelling fresh bread, watching the rain, is transformed into tiny electrical signals. Billions of neurons communicate with one another. New connections begin forming. Some become stronger, others disappear. Your brain constantly decides what's important, what should be kept, and what should be forgotten. In fact, forgetting isn't a flaw. It's one of the brain's greatest strengths. Imagine remembering every single detail of every day you've ever lived, every leaf you've seen, every face in a crowd, every conversation, every sound. Your brain would become overwhelmed. Instead, it filters information, keeping only what seems useful, and that filtering system is one reason your earliest years become so difficult to remember. But another reason is even more surprising. During infancy, the part of your brain responsible for forming long-term memories is still under construction. Deep inside your brain, there's a small structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as your memory librarian. Its job is to organize experiences and help store them as lasting memories. The hippocampus is essential for remembering where you went yesterday, what you ate for breakfast, or who you met last week. But when you're a baby, this system isn't fully mature. It's still developing at an incredible speed. New brain cells are constantly being created. New connections appear every day. It's like building a massive library, while people are already trying to borrow books. Some memories get stored, others become difficult to find later. Scientists believe this rapid brain development may accidentally overwrite or reorganize early memories. In other words, your earliest experiences may not be completely gone. They may simply be locked away behind a brain that has completely rebuilt itself. And that raises an incredible question: if those memories still exist somewhere, could you ever get them back? Imagine taking thousands of photographs on your phone. Now imagine locking them inside a vault that you can never open again. The pictures still exist, you just can't access them. Some scientists believe this might be surprisingly similar to what happens with our earliest memories. Your brain doesn't simply work like a computer's hard drive. Memories aren't stored neatly inside folders labeled Age 1, Age 2, Age 3. Instead, every memory is stored as an incredibly complex network of connections between brain cells. And here's where things become fascinating. When you're a baby, your brain changes faster than at any other time in your entire life. Every single day, millions of new neural connections are forming. Your brain is literally rebuilding itself. Imagine writing your childhood memories inside a house that is being renovated every single day. Walls are moving, rooms are changing, entire sections are being rebuilt. Eventually, the house becomes so different that finding those original memories becomes almost impossible. The memories may have existed at one point, but the brain that created them no longer exists in the same form. In a way, you're trying to use an adult brain to understand experiences that were recorded by an entirely different version of yourself. Here's something most people never think about. When you were 1 year old, you didn't understand language the way you do now. You didn't know what time was. You didn't understand relationships. You didn't even know who you were. Your entire experience of reality was completely different. As adults, we remember events using words and concepts. We remember things like, it was my 4th birthday. I was wearing a blue shirt. I felt embarrassed. But babies don't think that way. A baby's world is made of sounds, colors, emotions, sensations, patterns. They aren't creating memories using language or storytelling. They're experiencing life in a completely different format. Scientists believe this is another reason we struggle to remember infancy. It's almost like trying to open a modern computer file using software that no longer exists. The information may have once been there, but your adult brain struggles to interpret it. Which raises another incredible question. Can anyone remember being a baby? The answer, surprisingly, is yes. At least some people claim they can. Ask 10 people about their earliest memory, and you'll probably get 10 different answers. Some people remember being 3 years old. Others claim they remember being 2. And a few people insist they remember being babies. But can they really? Scientists have spent decades studying early memories. The problem is that memory is surprisingly unreliable. Every time you remember something, your brain slightly reconstructs it. It's less like watching a movie and more like rebuilding a puzzle. Sometimes, your brain accidentally fills in the missing pieces. This is why false memories are surprisingly common. You might genuinely believe you remember sitting in a stroller when you were 6 months old. But what you're actually remembering could be family photographs, stories your parents told you, videos you've seen dozens of times. Your brain combines all of that information into something that feels like a real memory. And here's the scary part. You won't be able to tell the difference. Scientists estimate that many of our earliest memories aren't perfect recordings of real events. They're reconstructions, stories our brains created using fragments of information collected throughout our lives. Which means some of your childhood memories may not have happened exactly the way you remember them. At first, remembering every moment of your life sounds amazing. Imagine remembering your very first laugh, your first word, your first birthday, every friend you've ever made, every conversation you've ever had. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? But now imagine remembering every embarrassing moment, every argument, every painful experience, every boring second you've ever lived. Suddenly, perfect memory doesn't sound so perfect. Believe it or not, there are people who can remember an extraordinary number of events from their lives, and many of them describe it as exhausting. They can't simply move on from unpleasant memories. Their minds constantly replay the past. Forgetting isn't a weakness of the human brain. It's one of its greatest gifts. Your brain doesn't just help you remember, it also helps you forget. And without forgetting, living in the present might become almost impossible. In recent years, scientists studying memory made an incredible discovery. Experiments with young animals showed that memories formed early in life may not completely disappear. Instead, they become extremely difficult to access. In some studies, researchers were able to trigger signs that certain early memories had not been entirely erased. This suggests something extraordinary. The problem may not be that the memory no longer exists. The problem may simply be that your brain can no longer find it. Imagine storing thousands of books inside a giant library. The books are still there, but someone removed the entire catalog system. You know the information exists somewhere. You just don't know where to look. Scientists believe something similar may happen during infancy. Your brain undergoes enormous changes during early childhood. New neurons are constantly forming, connections are being reorganized, and in the process, access to those earliest memories may become buried beneath years of development. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean we'll be downloading our baby memories anytime soon. As amazing as it sounds, there's currently no known method that can reliably restore your forgotten experiences from infancy. At least not yet. Believe it or not, many people claim they can. Some say they remember their mother's face, others claim they remember conversations from infancy, some even insist they remember being born. But scientifically speaking, these claims are extremely difficult to verify. Human memory is surprisingly easy to influence. Every photograph you've seen, every family story you've heard, every home video you've watched, all of these become ingredients your brain can use to create memories that feel completely real. Your brain isn't lying to you, it's simply doing what it does best, building stories, and sometimes those stories become indistinguishable from genuine memories. So, can you remember the day you were born? Almost certainly not, at least according to everything modern neuroscience currently understands about memory formation. Your brain simply wasn't developed enough to store that experience in a way that your adult mind could later access. And honestly, that's probably a good thing, because your first experience of the world would likely be overwhelming. Bright lights, loud sounds, confusion, stress. The beginning of life isn't the magical movie scene many people imagine. It's one of the biggest adjustments your brain will ever experience. After everything we've learned, you might feel disappointed. After all, who wouldn't want to remember their very first moments? But perhaps we've been asking the wrong question all along. Maybe the mystery isn't why we forget. Maybe the mystery is why we remember anything at all. Your brain performs something miraculous every single day. Out of billions of moments throughout your life, it carefully chooses which experiences become part of who you are. It allows painful memories to fade, it preserves meaningful ones, and it constantly updates the story of your life. Forgetting isn't a design flaw, it's a feature. Without it, you might never move forward. Without it, learning could become overwhelming. Without it, your mind could become trapped in the past. The reason you don't remember being a baby isn't because those years didn't matter. In fact, they may be the most important years of your entire life. They shaped your personality, your emotions, your relationships, and the person you've become today. You simply don't need to consciously remember them for them to have changed you forever. Think about it. You have lived through thousands of days that you'll never remember. Your first smile, your first laugh, the first time someone held your hand, the first time you saw the moon. Those moments are gone from your conscious memory. Yet somehow, they still live on inside the person you've become. Perhaps forgetting isn't one of the brain's greatest mysteries. Perhaps it's one of its greatest gifts. Because life was never meant to be remembered perfectly. It was meant to be lived. The biggest chapter of your life may be the one you'll never remember. If you enjoyed exploring one of humanity's greatest mysteries, subscribe to Curious Canvas for more fascinating questions about science, history, and the human mind. Because sometimes, the strangest things about being human are the things we experience every single day.